So yesterday I went snowboarding, and then before I went snowboarding, I watched this video to help me learn how to snowboard faster. So with this video, um, the key things that talked about in this video was um, understanding how your body should lean, and where your center of gravity is. So when it talked about how it should lean, all this video mentioned was when you're doing uh, heel side, you should be leaning backwards, and when you're doing toe side, you should be leaning forwards. You should be mindful of that. So I thought, oh, okay, that's pretty easy. I just need to know these things when I'm doing heel side versus toe side. But what actually happened was how much you lean matters depending on how fast you go and the angle of the slope. So you almost have this giant lookup table. You need to know exactly how much to lean at what given time, because otherwise you may be leaning too much and you're gonna crash and fall. So um, that's the thing that I realized, that until you actually experience it, you would have uh, no idea of the degree you have to know these things. And I communicated this with my friends that I was going there, and they just cannot relate to this experience that I have. Something else that this video talked about was um, keeping your center of gravity. It mentioned that if you wanted to be stable on the board, your center of gravity should be at the center. But what I noticed, actually, what happens was it's hard to keep your body at this. It's hard to keep the center of gravity in the center of the board because the slope that is downwards. So inherently, you're putting the weight in uh, the latter half of the board, which is going to cause you to be unstable and crash. So I find that to keep your center of gravity the same in the center, you need to lean forward. You need to consciously move your body to the forward so that your center of gravity in the center. And there's no way for you to know this if you don't film yourself. Um, that's not actually how I knew. I just noticed that if I don't do that, there's a lot of pressure at the back of the board, and that's going to cause me to crash. So these bits are the things that makes riding, um, like picking up a skill, particularly hard, because when people talk about it, they only give you the gist of the idea. Um, this is a very good video. It gives you a right direction of where you're going, but until you actually do it, you don't actually know how fine-grained, how much detail you have to know until you actually do it. And the actual details matters so much, creating a possibility that you might not be able to write like this if you don't know the details. So that's a interesting experience on just knowing the knowledge and actually experiencing it.